we're still at the point that it looks like that they are really applying for 3 signs rather than 2, and a new application has not been submitted. So our attorney is en route, and with speaking with her at this point in time, I think we need to table it again for next month because nothing has changed and we've gotten no new advice. Okay?
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay. So I don't know if I should take a vote. Do you want to take a vote on that?
Yeah, let's just vote to move it to the next meeting.
Okay.
So, a motion.
I'll make the motion. I'll second it.
Thank you.
So I need a
Got a
motion.
motion from me. You had a second from Myron.
Myron, yep.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Okay, so it is passed. Next, we have our new application for 522 Union Street. So it says, Dear Lisa, attaches an area variance application from the property owner who has applied to subdivide the parcel with the city planning board. The subdivision will create non-conforming lots, which will require a variance. Any questions you may have, please contact my office. So before going forward, looking at this, and within the letter, what they're asking for is to subdivide a parcel. So you're more or less, that needs to go, I believe. Craig, is Craig still here? Is Craig on?
Doesn't have to go planning board.
Yeah,
I don't see
I don't
Craig.
see Craig.
Okay.
we do have Dustin James, who is the representative for Nick Rutkowski.
Well, the bottom line is to subdivide a parcel, that needs to be subdivided before it comes to us for any variances, and that's got to go through the city of Hudson and the planning board. Even if they're not subdividing it and they're doing a lot line adjustment, but it says right here that they're subdividing the parcel.
Yeah.
So, honestly, before that comes to us, that needs to be taken care of back through the planning board and Craig and the city of Hudson. So,
Can I chime in?
sure.
I'm Dustin. I work at Crawford and Associates, so I'm representing this project. We started off at the planning board. We went to the planning board. They opened a public hearing, and then the town or the city attorney said that we needed to go before the ZBA. So I don't know the exact term for what happened to our public hearing, but it was basically tabled or put on hold to begin this process.
Okay.
So
Unfortunately, this is where I'm coming from, is we are the zoning board of appeals. Based on anything to do with subdividing property that is approved through the planning board, then it gets filed with the county clerk's office. And I don't see where that's going to, like, before anything, for you to want to subdivide property, that goes to the planning board, then they stamp it, they approve it. It's got to then be filed within the county clerk's office. There's got to be a letter from the city showing taxes have been paid. It's got to go through real property. I really don't understand why they kicked it back to us, because we can't approve you subdividing a property.
right.
Wait, go ahead.
I have a question. So when I read the application, it looked to me like we weren't being asked to subdivide the property. We were being
Correct.
asked for an area variance for the lot, for what was going to, once it's divided, the existing building does not meet the zoning requirements. So we're being asked to approve that. But why would we, how can, I
You
understand
approve something before it. Why are we going?
How can we approve an area variance when the lot is not, the lot that you're asking for a variance on doesn't really exist yet
Correct.
until it's been subdivided?
Right.
I mean, that's what does make sense to me as well. I
Right.
understand that you're not asking us for the subdivision.
Correct.
However, it seems like it would be difficult / impossible for us to rule on a variance when the lot is not really in existence how you wish it to be.
Right, correct. And based on, exactly, Abby, and correct, based on the letter itself, even the way it's worded from Craig, that basically they're telling us what they're planning on doing. And once they do that, would we give them an area variance based on the lot because it's non-conforming after they subdivide it? Well, it's got to be approved to be subdivided. And before we can tell you if we're going to give you an area variance on a non-conforming lot that was subdivided, it has to be subdivided. And we can't subdivide it for you. It goes to the planning board. That's the planning board's job.
But wouldn't it, you know, I was reading that also, and my question would be, is what you're really looking for is 2 area variances, because what you've done by the subdivision is you created the garage under one set of circumstances, but the home now without the garage and the size of it and the scale of it and what's left of the balance of the lot is another consideration.
Right.
Doesn't mean anybody's saying no. All I'm saying is something that should be contended with. And
So
that, I think, has to come from planning.
I guess before I dive into the details of the project, I'm here. We submitted this application because the city attorney stopped the process with the planning board and said we needed to come to the ZBA. So this process started for us back in February or March, and we're doing this for our client, and we're doing what maybe the different hands or different arms of the city boards are telling us to do. But why would the city attorney have told us, why would he have stopped that process in its tracks with the planning board and had us come before you to then go, so if there's any way while I'm here tonight, we can go over this project.
Lisa will be right with you.
I'm
on the
speaking
phone.
with Craig as we talk.
Right.
She's on with code enforcement. though.
Variance application for the property owner who has applied to subdivide the parcel with the city planning board. The subdivision will create a non-conforming lot, which requires a variance. I can't give you a variance on a lot that doesn't exist yet. They're pretty much asking for an area variance on the lot once it's subdivided. And then Abby's saying the same thing. Nobody's not here with us. I can't grant a variance on a lot.
Kathy, can you just tell Lisa that this gentleman is saying that the attorney for the planning board stopped the meeting and told him to come here?
But she's on the phone with Craig. She was on with the attorney.
Right.
All
I
right.
know, but
All right. We're talking to the gentleman who's he says the attorney from the planning board stopped the meeting and said they couldn't do anything more until they're off.
We had the public hearing scheduled, and an hour or two before the public hearing, the word came through that we needed to go to the ZBA. So it was not
On the
during
phone
the
with
meeting,
the
but
the attorney told you that? Of the
The attorney
planning board?
told-
The city?
he told the board chair, and she relayed that message to me. But that's an email I can
They're on
pull
the
up.
phone. She's on the phone with Craig and they're
Okay.
going for it. So
If we go ahead and subdivide it, and we know it's going to be one.
then it's going to bounce back.
I'm not voting on something of a lot that doesn't exist yet. It needs to go back to the planning board. Stop. I mean,
The gentleman who's her construction guy wants to know, why would the planning board do that? Because their attorney told them. I think somebody in the communication got it interpreted the wrong way.
all right, let me close out because she's on the road. She's not on the meeting. Let me call her, all right?
He didn't even make it to the planning board. They stopped him from even going.
We had our initial, so I presented to the
Oh, I
planning
see.
board. They scheduled a public hearing. And
I
You
we
were
had
at
a
the
public
meeting and
hearing.
that's when they said it.
I
That's what-
understand.
before the planning board was going to rule on it, they said it needed to come to the ZBA, which is why
I understand.
I
Well, why
submitted the
don't we do
application.
this while we're waiting for Lisa? Dustin, for the rest of the board, do you want to walk through what the project is and entails so that no matter what the outcome is, at least, if we need to go back and have a discussion with the planning board, we at least have the full scope of understanding?
That'd be great. I could do that.
So we received your long application. We also received the maps property subdivision for 522 Union, which was provided by the code enforcement office. So which document would you like to begin with?
I'll fire up the map. If I could share my screen and put the map up here, if that works for you guys, for
Any
all of you.
objections, team? No, please do.
Okay. All right. So I'll zoom out a little bit here. So our client, Nick Redkowski,
Craig Hay.
owns
Ryan,
522.
excuse me, Ryan,
Yes.
you send this link to Craig Hay because he wants to see it because now
He can't get on the meeting.
he can't get it. He can't make it to the meeting.
He can't get on the link.
He
That's
oh he
on the
can't
website.
he can't get on the link to the website.
So just send him the link to the meeting to his city email.
Okay,
Right now, hold on.
because they're moving on.
Dustin, bear with us one moment.
Yeah, sure thing. No problem.
All right. Just sent it.
This place on Union Street. She's got the paper.
All right, Dustin, if you want to continue right now while we're waiting for everybody to jump on.
Good thing. Okay. So Nick owns 522 Union Street, which I'll zoom in here. I guess it's this entire lot right now before a subdivision.
Right.
He's looking to subdivide along just off of the garage here, retain this garage parcel for himself, and he's looking to sell the house lot with the rest of the property, which does have a gravel parking space fronting here on Union Street. He would be accessing this garage, and there's a parking spot under the carport here from Cherry Alley. He also owns 521 Warren Street, which is the purpose for this. If he owns this property, he can have his parking on the property that he owns. He can retain this just across the alley. So the variance here, the zoning for the district, the zone that we're in requires if you're within 25 feet of a residential zone, there's a 10-foot minimum setback, side setback, and a 30-foot
Hello.
minimum rear setback.
Okay, all right,
You got it?
thanks. All right.
The R3, that zone runs along the center line of Union Street here. And so this parcel is subject to that 10-foot and 30-foot setback. As the parcel currently exists, zooming in here, you've got almost 17 feet setback, 8.4, so we're underneath where we don't meet the 10-foot setback, side setback. And in the rear, it's 25.3, which does not meet the foot setback. So those are the variances that we're requesting. Now this new garage parcel, once it's created, it's no longer as its own separate parcel. It no longer is within 25 feet of this residential district. So or residential zone. So it's no longer needs to meet those 10-foot side yard setback and 30-foot rear yard setback. So I'm not asking for any variances on this garage parcel once it's created, because it will be conforming.
What's the intent and usage of parcel B for him?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What's the intent and usage of parcel B in the garage for him? Is he planning a studio, a space or anything?
He said just parking and storage. It's zero intention for it to be any sort of living space or rental space. It's parking and storage. And then
Lisa, you're on mute if you were talking to us. You're on mute,
We
Lisa.
can't hear you, Lisa.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
What did,
Okay.
we sent Craig the link. He has not joined.
All right. Well, I've spoken to Craig. I've spoken to Zoe. I've listened to this presentation. Also, the problem is, I mean, I came into the end of it and it's saying, you're saying that we're not looking for a variance. Well, that's what the application is asking for based on Craig's letter, that they're looking for an area variance once they subdivide it, because it will be creating a non-conforming lot. The problem is we cannot vote on or say we're going to give you any type of variance based on a lot that doesn't exist yet. And the planning board is saying, well, we need to know that once we subdivide it and it's non-conforming, we're going to give them an area variance. That's it. We can't vote on a lot that doesn't exist. And based on your presentation, you're saying, well, we're not looking for area variance, but that's what the application says. So unfortunately, our attorney is on the road. I've tried to speak to her. She said, we're going to table this so she can look at it. I did speak to Craig. Craig is just being based off what the application, was presented. And, again, it started at the planning board and it got sent to us. But again, as a board, we can't agree or vote on something that doesn't exist yet. So does any other board members have anything else to say, or?
No, I would just ask I think what Dustin's next question is going to be, what is his next course of action? Because
could I make a suggestion or a request?
Mm-hmm.
If I've presented this far, could I finish the presentation, or could you ask me any more questions? And in the event, at the next meeting, you would be ready to vote? Is that a possibility?
No, because we're not so what you're telling me first off is that this application isn't what you really wanted to present, because now you're saying that you don't need an area variance and this is what this application is requesting. So, and we can't give a variance on a lot that doesn't exist yet because it hasn't been subdivided. So basically, our attorney will look at it, and what I will have her do is she will contact me and we will talk with Craig, and Craig will contact you and where we go for the next meeting. I don't know if you're going to have to submit another application for the next meeting, or if it's going to go back to planning, or if you're going to change some wording here, and we'll go from here. But our attorney needs to look at it. And once she looks at it, she will speak with me and speak with Craig, and we will contact you.
Okay, and I guess I'm unclear on the attorney. So your attorney is separate from the planning board?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
And I apologize. I know you feel like you're being shuffled back and forth, but like I said, this is the first that it's coming in front of us, and based on what we do as a board, and we have to go based on what the application is presented. And this is what the application is asking of us. You're asking for a variance, an area variance. So speaking with our attorney that's on the road right now, she agreed with me, but she's going to go through it, and she will speak with I and Craig, and we will contact you before our next meeting, and we'll be, we'll lead you in the direction where we're going next. Okay. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, that's how it's going to go. So I'm just going to do whatever you tell me to do so we can get this project.
Right. And I understand, and I don't need to be, knocking you around from place to place, but, we just need to all get on the same board and go in the right direction to get this done. So,
Yeah, okay.
okay. All right.
All right, thank you. I'll stop sharing my screen. Okay, well, thank you.
Okay. All right. Somebody will be contacting you, Craig or our attorney or myself. I will make sure in the next week. Okay.
All right, I appreciate it.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. Are you still on?
Yep, and that is it.
Yeah.
for the agenda items.
That's it.
Okay.
So,
Somebody wants to make a.
yeah. So let's make a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make a
I'll
motion.
make a motion to close the meeting.
All right, then I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right. Sorry
All right.
about all the confusion, but we'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
All right.
Lovely to see
Good
everybody.
to see you.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.